Welcome to Astrology Unpacked. I'm Debra Clement, and today I am going to talk about the transiting nodes in Leo and Aquarius, but with a Jupiter twist. So, on July 26th, the lunar nodes changed signs. The north node moved into Aquarius, the south node moved into Leo, and that's where they're going to remain until March of 2028. Now, we also have the eclipses occurring in Leo and Aquarius, and that will add another layer to the story, but that's another episode. For today, I just want to keep the focus on the lunar nodes and Jupiter. So, briefly, the lunar nodes are not planets, they're two mathematical points in the sky. They are always in opposite zodiac signs, they travel as a pair, they move backwards through the zodiac, and it takes roughly 18 and a half years for them to cycle through all 12 signs. Now, why should you care about these cycles? Well, you should care because according to the pair of houses they're activating in your horoscope, they can show you where you're being called to grow and where you're being called to let something go. Now, this is not the first time the nodes have traveled through Leo and Aquarius in this way. The last time the north node was in Aquarius and the south node was in Leo was from December 2007 through August 2009. And as cycles repeat, so do certain themes. So I do encourage you to think back to that time and consider what was happening in your own life because you may recognize a familiar theme. In astrology, the north node is considered a point of gain, and it represents an opportunity for growth. It's asking you to move towards something. The south node is considered a point of release. It's asking you to let go of something. Now, letting go of something doesn't necessarily mean a complete abandonment. Sometimes it just means downplaying something so that you can shift your attention to where it needs to be. And when you do, it can help accelerate the growth represented by that north node. So, generally speaking, with the south node in Leo, that release can simply mean stepping away from the desire to always be in the spotlight. In other words, it's time to say no to the solo and join the chorus. But it can also be something as simple as turning away from all of the drama in your life, maybe not taking everything so personally. But here comes the twist. While the south node is asking us to release or step back from certain expressions of Leo, transiting Jupiter is also in Leo, and it's amplifying them. So on the one hand, the south node is asking you to turn the volume down in some area of your life, and on the other hand, there's Jupiter that's turning it up. So it certainly seems like they're working against each other. But the truth is, they can actually work very well together. So rather than looking at Jupiter and the south node as being at odds with each other, I'm going to talk about how they can work together to support the growth represented by the north node. So what does it mean for you? Well, I'm going to start with a house in your horoscope where the north node in Aquarius is asking you to grow. And then I'm going to look at the house that holds the south node and Jupiter in Leo. And that's where it gets interesting, because Jupiter will be expanding opportunities or perhaps resources in the very house where the south node is asking you to release something. So the question is, how can you make the most of what Jupiter is expanding while letting go of what the south node says you no longer need? And how do you use them to accelerate the growth represented by your north node in Aquarius? Well, you're about to find out. Now, if you don't know your rising sign, you can listen to your sun sign. But I do encourage you to become familiar with your chart because it is much more meaningful and much more accurate when you know exactly where any planet or point is moving in your personal horoscope. So let's get started. If you have Aries Rising, the north node in Aquarius is in your 11th house, and the south node in Jupiter are in your 5th house. So, this means that the north node is calling you to grow through groups, communities, and those who share a common vision with you. You can help accelerate that growth by using your creative talents, self-expression, and passion to further something bigger than yourself, while letting go of the need for the spotlight. This is a time to focus on the team, not on being the MVP. If you have Taurus rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in your 10th house, and the South Node in Jupiter in Leo are in your 4th house. This means the North Node is calling you to grow in a very public way, either through your career or by daring to be different in a way that people will notice. Now, this can also be about breaking family or generational patterns, the type that say, hey, no one in our family has ever accomplished that, and refusing to let that define what's possible for you. You can help accelerate this growth by drawing on the inner confidence, emotional strength, and inherited talents Jupiter is expanding, while letting go of the need to play it safe or stay in your comfort zone. If you have Gemini Rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in your 9th house, and the South Node in Jupiter are in your 3rd house. This means the North Node is calling you to grow through the higher mind. It's asking you to consider new possibilities and consider ideas that you may have thought were ridiculous, unorthodox, out there, or maybe even defied common sense. You can accelerate this growth by embracing opportunities to expand your awareness through education, travel, podcasts, conversations, while letting go of the belief that you're the smartest one in the room, or that everything you believe to be true is actually fact. If you have Cancer rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in the 8th house, and the South Node in Jupiter are in Leo in the 2nd house. This means that the North Node is calling you to grow by learning how to share or use financial resources that aren't your own, but without becoming dependent on them. You can accelerate this growth by taking advantage of opportunities to increase your earning power while letting go of the desire to spend it all on yourself. If you have Leo rising, the North Node is in your 7th house, and the South Node and Jupiter are in Leo in the 1st. So this means the North Node is calling you to grow through relationships by becoming more independent, but also by becoming more aware of the other person's needs. You can accelerate this growth by embracing the confidence and the desire for freedom that Jupiter is expanding, while letting go of the belief that your wants, needs, and desires should always come first. If you have Virgo rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in your 6th house, and the South Node in Jupiter in Leo are in your 12th house. This means the North Node is calling you to grow through work and service by respecting the individual needs of those you serve. You can help accelerate this growth if you embrace the opportunities that Jupiter brings to help those in need, while letting go of the belief that you know what's best for them. If you have Libra Rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in your 5th house, and the South Node in Jupiter are in Leo in your 11th house. So this means the North Node is calling you to grow through authentic self-expression by willing to show people who you really are and what you really stand for. You can accelerate that growth by taking advantage of opportunities to connect with like-minded people and groups, while letting go of the tendency to take it personally if they don't agree with you, as well as letting go of the need to stand out in the crowd. If you have Scorpio Rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in your 4th house, and the South Node in Jupiter in Leo are in your 10th house. So this means that the North Node is calling you to grow by creating a personal lifestyle that works for you, even if it looks very different from everyone else's. You can accelerate that growth by taking advantage of career opportunities that give you the means to live the way you want, while letting go of the need for public approval. If you have Sagittarius Rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in your 3rd house, and the South Node and Jupiter are in your 9th house. This means that the North Node is calling you to grow by becoming more curious, and also by focusing more on facts and details. You can accelerate this growth by embracing opportunities to broaden your horizons and expand your understanding, while letting go of sweeping assumptions. If you have Capricorn Rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in your second house, and the South Node and Jupiter are in Leo in your eighth house. This means the North Node is calling you to grow by becoming more financially self-reliant. You can accelerate that growth by taking advantage of opportunities to increase outside resources available to you that can strengthen your financial position, while letting go of depending on them to be your safety net. If you have Aquarius Rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in your first house, and the South Node and Jupiter in Leo are in your seventh house. This means that the North Node is calling you to grow by embracing what makes you different and by making yourself a priority. You can accelerate this growth by welcoming the support of the helpful people Jupiter can bring into your life now, while letting go of making them the center of it. If you have Pisces Rising, the North Node in Aquarius is in your 12th house, and the South Node and Jupiter in Leo are in your 6th house. This means that the North Node is calling you to grow by learning to slow down, go with the flow, and just be. You can accelerate that growth by embracing opportunities to be more productive while letting go of the need to always be busy. So there you have it. That's how you can use the South Node and Jupiter in Leo to help accelerate your North Node in Aquarius growth. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back next time with more Astrology Unpacked.